One of your earlier appearances on Raw when you came back, you're doing the Goldberg entrance and you decide to headbutt the door. And then you come in the ring and you've got blood on your head.
I headbutted the door on the way out here, and the camera wasn't even on me. So,
talk us through that. When you get in the ring, you've got blood on your head. You must have not even realized that this has happened.
I had no clue. So remember the story about me being told not to headbutt anymore, and I punched the door, and that obviously didn't work, so I went back to the headbutt, right? Go with what you know. Well, I'm 50, and I am amped up like nobody's business, right? And I don't remember my entire sequence of things that I did to get ready for the match. I completely, it was 13 years. It's not like I wrote it down. Okay, you do this 30 minutes before, you drink a cup of coffee, you do your stretches, you did. It's like, okay, then you headbutt this. So I only remembered a certain amount of things. So, again, I try to be the best at what I do. And so if I'm going to headbutt something, I want to be the best at it. So, man, I hit that door as hard as I could, and I don't think it was made of, like, real material. I think it was, like, concrete or something. Because the next thing I know, I'm seeing stars, and I got to open up the door and follow the camera to the ring. So I do, and I get to the ring, and he's pointing at me, like, wipe that off your face. I'm like, what? They throw me a towel and wipe the blood off your face. I'm like, blood? What? Oh, my God. Where am I? What am I doing? Oh, microphone. Oh, what do I say? I had no clue. Absolutely no clue. I don't know where I was. So I started over, I think, 3 times. And then I asked you guys, the audience, to forgive me because I completely forgot what I was going to say. And I didn't lie. I was honest. I mean, where else was I going to go? Because, I had no idea what I was talking about. But I think that's why a lot of people grasp the return is because 50 years old, it's not realistic to come back as Godzilla. I can be the older Godzilla, right? So I had to come back. My first run, I was the Terminator. Okay? Well, I'm older. I'm frail now. I use a walker and all that kind of crap. And so now I got to be the Terminator with a heart, right? So it was an expansion of the character, but it made me more human. So I could go out and I could connect with people by telling the truth. Hey, I'm here for my kid. I don't care what you guys think, but I'm here for that little guy right there. And I was honest. And I think that's why I connected with people. One reason. That and I could still beat a couple people up.
And then there's Survivor Series, where it's going to be Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. And I think a lot of people were very curious because there'd been, the thing with Rusev where you had things you'd be slipped because you'd overtrained. And people were like, what's he going to be like in the ring? What's going to happen? And then you guys have the match and you kill him in 86 seconds. Can you talk a little bit about how that was because it feels weird that Vince McMahon would bring you back and say, come back and just kill Brock on pay-per-view in 86 seconds.
Well, let's just say that it was the furthest thing from my mind that was going to happen. I had no clue because I obviously was signed to one match. We talked about one match. I came back, Survivor Series. I was going to do my thing with Brock, make Brock look like the monster that he is, and then go on about my merry way. And, man, for some reason they changed it. Because along the way, maybe people appreciated me coming back much more so than they thought, or I don't know what it was. I'm never going to sit here and conjecture as to the success of anything that I do. But something good happened, and it made the outcome flip. And then some brilliant dude came up with this idea to drop people on their heads, man, to turn them on their heads and give them something that there was no way anybody would have expected. Like, how in God's name is this 50-year-old dude who hasn't been in the business for 13 years going to come back and beat their man? You know, it's just not fathomable. That's why it worked. So I didn't know it was going to happen. It was a different deal. It was, I think because nobody knew it was going to happen, including the people in the back, that's why it succeeded so much.
And the reaction that night in Toronto when you do that show and you go out and you have that match, was the reaction what you had hoped it was going to be?
It was unbelievable. It really was. I was such in awe of anybody remembering me in a positive note, anybody cheering for me. Like I said, man, I'm overly humble in that I never expect myself to do anything positive. But that drives me to work my ass off, period. It just drives me to be the best at what I do because I never give myself credit because I don't watch matches and say, yeah, that was awesome. I watch it and go, ugh. You know, I can't see that. And then when I did the deal with Rusev and I fell, man, I couldn't let myself relax. I kept beating myself up after that because God, Goldberg never slips. I don't care how old I am. I don't care how much I weigh. I don't care how strong I am. I don't slip. I don't make mistakes like that. So I wore it, man. I wore it right on my chest for a long period of time. And it's, you know, it's a blessing and a curse in a way. It's a blessing because it pushes you to the highest levels, to levels higher you think you can go, right? But it wears you down. You know, you got to give yourself credit every once in a while. And I never do. But that makes you work harder.